You are listening to Fox Radio 910 and 104.3. I want to welcome you to Let's Talk About, our weekly radio program sponsored by Crowning Touch Senior Moving Services of Roanoke, Virginia. My name is Linda Balentine, the president of Crowning Touch and your host for this series. I interview local characters, service providers, politicians, teachers, entrepreneurs, and business professionals, and each one is dedicated to improving life in our valley. Every person has an interesting perspective to share from all walks of life. So, let's begin today's interview. Today we're heading to the rolling hills of Catawba, Virginia, where alpacas have found a happy home at Teaberry Alpaca Farms. Pam Sheely and her husband made a big move from Arizona in 2022, and since then they've been raising a thriving herd, transforming the alpaca fiber into beautiful yarns and products, and opening their farm to visitors for tours, birthday parties, and events. We'll hear how Pam turned her passion into a business, what life with alpacas is really like, and why these gentle animals have captured her heart. Welcome, Pam, to Let's Talk About.
Thank you so much for inviting me and having me come.
Well, you have given me a glorious tour before we sat down here. I might mention that you have this gorgeous 85-acre farm.
85, thank you.
And 35 alpacas out here.
35.
This is serious business because we are now sitting in your fiber barn. Is that correct?
It is. We have a full-service fiber mill where we are processing not only our alpaca fiber, but other farms in the area that will bring us their alpacas. And we make everything from yarn to felting to roving to finished products of hats and scarves so that they can sell it in their stores too.
Well, it's just the most fascinating. It is such a together operation that you have here, I just have to say.
I appreciate that.
And right on the other side of this wall, there's some serious pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
But the fun part that I really wanted to launch into right away were these darling alpacas that we met. And I wanted to ask you if you could shed some light on how in the world, I happen to know that you had private schools before you did this. And so there was some sort of bridge. Why don't you explain how the track of life wound up here
It's a
for
funny
you?
story. So here we go.
Okay.
All right. I guess about almost 25 years ago, I opened up a private school, and that school morphed and we grew into multiple sites. And after being in Arizona for about 25 years, I said to my husband one day, maybe we should move. And so he was up for the adventure. He's like, all right, let's move. And I'm like, okay. So we sold the house, we sold the business. And then I started thinking, what am I going to do with myself? Because I'm used to being really, really busy.
Yeah.
And right before I left, a mom came in, and I kid you not, she came in for show and tell, and she brought in 3 alpacas to my school. And I'm looking at these alpacas, and I'm like, oh, there's something I can do. What's really funny about this is I have never taken care of an animal before. So for me to say, oh, let's do some alpacas and have a farm, it was interesting.
I think we all have a lot of hidden capabilities that we never even know about unless we actually take the chance.
Oh, yeah.
Run the risk.
I fully agree.
You went with your gut, it sounds like to me.
Exactly. Oh, it was.
And besides that, they're absolutely adorable.
They are so cute. So when they brought them in for the open house, well, I guess not really an open house.
Sort of a show and tell kind of
Show
thing?
and tell. When they came in for the show and tell, I'm looking at them. I'm like, all right, check. They're only like 150 pounds. I can deal with that.
Yeah.
Check. They only have teeth on the bottom, so they can't bite me even if they wanted. And then they kind of poop in the same area. And I thought, community poopers, I like that. Easy cleanup.
Right.
So based on those 3 things, plus how sweet and cute they are, I decided that's what we were going to look into. And so we bought the first 3 alpacas before we even moved to Virginia. We actually bought them maybe a week before we loaded up the truck and headed out this way.
Well, I'm really glad you chose Virginia because it's just been such a treat meeting you. But why did you choose Virginia?
Well, that's also kind of interesting. Never been here, have no family or friends here. It literally was, I didn't want a crazy winter, I didn't want a crazy summer, and I wanted 4 seasons. And here were some states that qualified. Oh, Virginia's it. I'm going to Virginia. And that was it.
Wow. And from what I understand from your story, you bought this place and you hadn't even seen this place.
Never stepped a foot on the property.
Under some nice pictures somebody sent you.
Yep, some pictures that came through because the house next door was also for sale. So then that way we were able to bring my whole family out with us. So I have my daughter and grandbabies, and then my younger daughter too moved out from Arizona.
So you've got the best of all possible worlds.
I got really lucky.
And yes, you you did. This is
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic. What were some of the biggest challenges in getting established? It sounds like, click, 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 you checked all the boxes and everything went along. Were there
yeah.
any challenges
Oh,
in
yeah.
setting this up?
There's a lot of work. And if anybody isn't ready to do work and roll up their sleeves, then maybe farm life is not a good option for them. When we got here, we were lucky. Yes, the property's beautiful. Yes, the house was okay.
Fencing was beautiful.
The fencing was for horses, not for alpacas.
Right.
So I'm very lucky. My husband is very helpful. I'm very blessed there.
Yeah.
So between the two of us, we had to take down all the electric wire and put up all no-climb fencing for the whole area in order to make it safe for the alpacas so that they could stay situated and predators couldn't get into their field.
You have big white watchdogs out there,
I
too.
do.
What's the breed?
They're an Italian sheepdog. They're called a Maremma. Chuck and Chloe. And they are bred to basically they're not herding dogs. They're watchers.
Wow.
So they're good at watching the sky. So people who have sheep and smaller animals are good for that too. And they stay with the alpacas 24/7. They've never even been in the house.
Wow.
Those alpacas are their family, and that is who they protect.
And they're protecting them from what?
From the coyotes, perhaps a bear, wild dogs, anything like that.
Because you're surrounded. I mean, this is gorgeous country out here. You're surrounded by national forest.
Yes.
We can assume that there's plenty of bear and plenty of...
There's things out there, for sure.
We saw the little alpaca that was born, 2 days ago?
She was, yes.
So you need the dogs to make sure that that little baby is kept safe, because that would be an appetizer for a coyote.
Exactly. Yeah.
So did you learn everything from scratch? Did you pour in? Did you get online? Did you buy books? Did you talk to other alpaca people? Did you have the opportunity? I don't see any other alpacas out here.
So there is another farm that is about 30 minutes away.
Okay.
And they have been very helpful. Also, when I bought my original alpacas from Arizona, Plum Creek Alpacas, Brian Smith was very, very helpful and gave me a lot of information to at least get me started. And then when I got here, I talked to Mark and Brenda at Man on the Moon Alpacas, and they have been wonderful with coming out. They were the first ones that walked the property and said, okay, this is what you need to look at. This is what you need to do. So they've been a help. And as time has moved on, I have another friend who, Patty Fuller, who's, it's Poplar Farms up in, Blacksburg. And she has been a godsend as far as not only how to take care of them. If something ends up happening, this is some things to look for, but also as far as the milk goes, she's been so helpful.
So you have some people mentoring you.
Yes.
Which is a really great thing.
Yes.
What surprised you the most about raising alpacas compared with was there anything that sort of shocked you?
I would think with shocking.
Well,
perhaps.
Surprised you?
Yes, surprise. They're very docile. I thought they would be more. Okay, I've only had a dog before, right? And when I tell Chuck to come, he comes. So I assumed that, they were going to come too. Yeah, and that's not the case. So that was a little bit of figuring out, okay, this is actually livestock. They are not pets.
Right.
And it's getting your mind around that.
And they have a herd mentality because they're being kept as a herd.
Exactly.
So it's
they're learning that, and I'm part of their herd. When I show up out there, they're like, oh, she belongs with us.
Like the shepherd.
Exactly.
They know the shepherd's voice. They know you.
Yes.
So they
and
come
I can
to you.
holler my voice out there. I'll say, come on, girls, it's time to eat. And they literally will come in off the field and come on in and get their food. So they're smart. That is it. They are way smarter than I realized they were.
They're not cows.
They are not cows. No, they can be trained. And they definitely have, each one of them has their own personality. They have a pecking order in their herd. And I found that to be very interesting.
Now, why do people raise alpacas? What is the end game for them? In other words, they aren't pack animals like llamas are. Is that correct? So
they are not.
You can't, pile them up with stuff and take them down the Appalachian Trail. That's not what's happening here.
No, but they grow beautiful fiber.
That's it.
That is what an alpaca is used for. Alpaca is used to be made into gorgeous yarn, gorgeous material, sweaters, hats, scarves, all of that. That is what they were made for.
So it's not called wool. It's called fiber.
It is called fiber.
But it is as soft.
Soft.
Oh, you just want to just bury yourself in there.
It's and not itchy. And hyperallergenic.
Hyperallergenic is huge.
Water repellent.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So it's very nice.
All righty. And how often do you shear these animals?
So they get shorn once a year. And for Virginia, we shear them at the end of April, maybe the very beginning of May, because the heat is not their friend. Humidity is not their friend.
Right.
When we are cold and icy, they are very, very happy.
And they've also got about 5 inches of wool on them, of fiber. By
the time April hits, they're packing it on and they're hot. And so you really need to get that off of them.
And then because they come into they're pregnant for 11 to 11 and a half months. Is that correct?
11 and a half months. Yes, they are.
And so you shear them, and then they are in the birthing season.
So with Virginia, actually, we have, but for my farm, I have 2 birthing seasons.
Okay.
I actually will breed some for fall, and then I breed some for spring.
Sure, you just had that little beautiful baby born.
Exactly. And the reason why I do that is I'm a small farm, and I take care of all of this, me and my family, on our own. So I don't have, farm help or a lot of back with that goes. So for me, it's easier for me to have that two birthing seasons, so then I can give the animal the attention it needs.
All righty. Let's talk about, you don't personally yourself do any weaving, but let's talk about this whole fiber business after they're shorn. And do we do that right here on the farm?
Yes.
And is it put in bags like they do with the sheep's wool?
So it is. What you're going to do, I like it when it's rolled up really nice and neat.
Okay.
So then that way it's really easy for me to skirt it and get it situated.
All right.
If you just throw it into a bag, then it's a bit of a mess to try to get it all sorted out.
Do you know when they do big herds of sheep, they have those they have somebody inside just dancing and
that's
pounding
not
it down.
going to do for us. Because first off, they come in different colors. So alpacas come in basically 22 different colors. So they're all in the same white to black and anywhere in between, but they are different colors. So if you're doing your yarn and you want your yarn to be natural colors,
right,
you don't want to be throwing it all in one big bag, because now you have just a hodgepodge.
Which is the big difference, because all sheep, unless the rare black one,
exactly,
are all white and it's not an issue.
Right.
So that's an interesting difference.
Yeah, so they're put into separate bags, and that's called their blanket. And their blanket is what makes into the very nice yarn. And so then I bring the blankets to here, and then it's being washed, it's being dried, and then we have a full service mill. So it's picked, it's tumbled, it goes through the fiber separator, the carder.
Does that pull out all the little seeds and grass?
And the vegetation,
Yeah.
Yes, it does. So the the fiber separator will get rid of, it's basically a dehairer. So with any animal, you're going to have some thicker hairs, some smaller hairs. So it kind of pulls out like the odd hairs.
Right.
And then it also gets a lot of the larger vegetation out. Then the carder is going to be another source of getting it even cleaner and getting all the fiber going the right way. So then that way you're making roving.
How do you wash it? I mean, there's so much lanolin in sheep's wool. It's much harder to wash, I would imagine.
Yes. So alpacas like to hold on to dirt, though.
Okay.
So that you're going to soak it. You're going to soak it for about 3 or 4 hours at least.
Do you have what kind of
So
tub
I
do you have?
have washing machines. I have 2 industrial size washing machines that are just made for alpaca fiber.
Without an agitator, probably.
No agitator. It has like cages that you put it into.
Oh.
And it's a very hot water, about 140 to 180 degrees.
Wow.
And so then it soaks in there. And then after it's done soaking, then it goes through a wash cycle. And then if it's really dirty, maybe another wash cycle.
Okay.
And then after that, it goes out onto drying racks. And it takes about 24 hours for it to dry. It's not a fast drying process.
No, I'd imagine. So you don't do any of this. You do all of this inside. It's not like you're doing it out in the sun or anything like they would. Okay.
Yep, it's all done inside.
So what is the response of the customers? You've got a lovely shop. You have a shop up there where the alpacas are.
Yeah.
In their pasture down here at the fiber barn. You have a wonderful display of woven yarns and everything from finger puppets to scarves and hats. You've got socks. You've got everything.
Yeah. So my plan for this down here, and remember, we've only been doing the fiber mill since March. So we're still.
Oh, I had no idea.
Oh, yes. Only since March. Go figure. we're hit the ground running
You
here.
really are.
Yes.
It's so impressive in this short period of time. You've really been doing this only since 2022, so that's just fantastic.
Yeah. So what ends up happening here, this is actually going to be a yarn store. So I am going to have it, I'm hoping as people start finding out where we are and showing up, this is going to become one of the knitting circles. That's what this table is that we're sitting at. So this will be a place for people to come and gather, maybe have some lessons on knitting, talk about it, and, just have a community experience.
What a wonderful thing.
And then while they're here, because a lot of people, they love their yarn, but they don't know how the yarn is made. Hey, they can also figure out, oh, that's how it's made. And maybe even get an idea of, this is what I want added to my yarn. How do I get that? And have a more of an educational, fun, enlightenment experience.
Yeah. And likewise, then just go ahead and start creating and crafting whatever their vision is, because they can do it from the ground up here.
Exactly.
Wow.
So this will be, and so right now, it's all of our yarn that's for sale. In fact, just this last weekend, we were at the Shenandoah Valley Fiber Festival. And it was our first fiber festival we went to.
Wow.
And I think we did pretty well. And we had a really good response. People were so nice. And we sold a lot of yarn.
I bet you did.
And then next week I am at and I'm going to say it wrong. I think it's Mount Piel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forget that.
All right.
We'll delete that part out. But we will be going at another fiber festival next weekend too.
Wow. Now, that's not the only thing that you do with these alpacas. You not only shear them and spin their yarn.
Oh, no, we go to shows.
But you go to shows. And
why would you not go to a show?
Because they're so gorgeous. But this is a different kind of showing. Explain to me, they're basically two directions that people take when they go to a show. Is that not correct? Explain it.
Okay. So there are alpaca shows. So just like your horse shows, your dog shows, there's alpaca shows.
Who would guess it? And one of the close ones is in Lexington at the Horse Center.
Exactly, the heart of Virginia. And that show usually pops out in March. Great time, lots of fun. You should come out and see it.
Yeah, I want to.
It is definitely open to the public. So alpacas are actually halter trained just like a horse, so they can walk on a lead. And so you are bringing them in. There's a halter show and a fleece show. Halter show, we're looking at how they perform in the ring. Are they listening? Are they walking? Are they doing, are they behaving?
Right.
Can the judges actually look at them? That's a good thing.
Right.
And so
they aren't dancing, pulling away and doing all that.
No.
They have an elegant way of moving.
They do. But some of them are definitely a little more, they're kind of like cats. You know what? We have days where I want to be touched, and I have days where I don't want you even to look at me. So you have to train them to be tolerant of being in that ring and making sure that they're ready to be touched.
And they have different classes. You start showing them at 6 months, and they have a class for a year old, and then it goes on, correct?
Right. So you have a 6 months, a juvie class, a yearling class, and then a 2 and older. And then they have other little classes too, like a sire class. How many, you get to show all the different alpacas the sire has made.
Right.
And has he passed on his quality of his fiber to these alpacas.
Wow.
And then a produce of dam, same thing. So they have a lot of different categories at these shows. But the main ones is your halter and your fleece.
Right.
So halter, they're looking at conformation. Is the animal conformationally strong? Is it healthy? Is it having all of the key elements that a healthy alpaca should have? And then they're also looking at their fiber quality. And you're in the ring and you're being compared with anywhere from 2 up to 8, maybe sometimes 12 different alpacas, just seeing how your animal compares to the rest. And people come from all over the U.S. It's not just local.
Isn't that something? And
yeah.
You said also that the judges really take a close look at the fiber.
They do.
What do they bring with them to investigate?
So when you're looking at the fleece show, they have actually they have different lighting, and they have different where they're pulling out the fiber samples and they're pulling them out, comparing them to the others. They're looking for how the micron is, and they're comparing that to other animals' microns. Smaller the micron, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for also, is the fiber strong? Is there breaks in it? All of that kind. That's what a strong fiber is going to make you a nice yarn. That's what they're looking for.
And so there is something else you call the crimp that they're looking for as well, correct?
So, yes. So a crimp is, So, remember when you used to get that curling iron, you'd put the wave in your hair? Mm-hmm. All right. A crimp is the alpaca's wave.
And it's natural.
It is natural. And you're looking for uniformity. Is that crimp uniform all the way across this blanket? Because some alpacas maybe have a nice uniform in one spot, but not all the way across. And that's what they're looking for. Uniformity is key. Also having very dense fiber, that's key too, because you want a lot of it. You don't want somebody thin. Right. You don't want a lot of hair there.
Now, an alpaca lives, you said maybe, 20 years?
Around 20 with us, 20, maybe 25, roughly around there. Kind of like a horse.
But you can be shearing them all that time. They're producing all that time.
Yeah, every year you're going to be shorn.
And then you can be breeding them. In a while, you're going to be full up with alpacas around here.
Yeah.
And then you'll be selling them? Is that part of your vision?
We sell them already.
Plan?
Yeah. No, I sell a little bit of my herd every year for the last 3 years.
Wow.
I try to keep my animals down to about 30 to 35 numbers because that's something I can do. Once it gets a little higher than that, then we need to sell some off to other
herd
farms.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Do you sell them to people who want them for pets? Do they take them and put them on a lot with a horse or a donkey, or they just put them in the backyard? What do people do?
People want them for pets, and if you want them for a pet, alpacas do well by themselves. Because a horse and a donkey, you got to think alpacas are small, and people forget that they're only 150 pounds.
Right.
And if you have it in there with a donkey, it can get kicked.
Right.
And not that donkey's being mean to it, but if a donkey kicks it, it's more than likely going to break a leg or something. And now you have to put down your alpaca.
Do you need to sell them in pairs? You like to sell that they want to have more alpaca company? Is that the deal?
So if you're a brand new alpaca owner, 3 is 2 you can get by. 3 is a happy number. They are herd animals, so they want to be amongst themselves. So 3 is a good number.
If you had 3, what type of size lot do you need?
Not very big at all. You can get 3 on an acre, no problem at all.
Do they eat? Are they like goats? Do they eat branches, or is it just? Well, they don't. They can't because
they're grazers. So yes, they only have teeth on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
So what they are is they are my lawnmowers. They don't destroy your field. It's very nice. They basically just go around and trim your grass.
So they don't pull anything up by the roots?
They don't. They're very easy on your field. They've been on my fields now for 3 years.
Wow.
And I haven't had any, I don't have to do anything with them. And again, because they're pooping in all one section, you don't have, piles of poop floating around everywhere.
Right.
The poop is like magic. You can literally, like a cow, you have to wait, right? Because it's so hot. It can hurt your.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
With an alpaca, you can put it right into the ground.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful. Those big sunflowers you saw over there that I have in my area?
Yeah.
That's because of that alpaca poop.
Oh my gosh.
So sometimes farmers will come and just buy the poop and take it away.
Do you bag it up for them? So
you can bag it up.
Yeah.
So a lot of
they give you bags. Can they leave you bags and say, "Here, I'll come pick it up in a week"?
So for big farmers, a lot of times they'll come and they'll bring their trucks, and then they'll just pile it on the back of their truck and take it away. It depends on the farm, the alpaca farm that you go to. Some people will bag it up, and then you can just buy it and put it in your garden.
Well, how do you handle it? What if somebody listening is thinking, "Oh my gosh, I would love to get some of this"?
Quite honestly, between raising them, taking them to the shows, and doing the fiber mill, the poop is low on my pole.
Gotcha.
It is. It's just really low.
So the forest is really going to be the nicest forest edge anywhere around.
Exactly.
Well, you don't just raise alpacas. You also open the farm to the public.
I do.
Correct?
Yes.
Because it's so gorgeous out here. I just can't talk about it enough. What kinds of tours do you offer? How does that work? Because I got to bring my grandson today, and you were so generous with us with your time. But you do this so that people who are really interested in alpacas and everything that's going on out here, you give them tours. How does that work?
So we do all kinds of tours. We do anywhere from private tours to events like work events, school events. We do field trips. So you would go to my webpage, and on there you're able to schedule an appointment, and then you pick a time, you pay for everything all online, and then you show up.
Wow.
And then we do a tour. So there is
rain or shine?
Rain or shine.
Okay.
Rain or shine. Just make sure you have boots on because you're walking in the field with the alpacas. You are feeding them. You are touching them. You are having a one-on-one experience with them.
So it would be great for a birthday party, for instance.
Oh, absolutely. It is hands down one of the best birthday parties around.
I bet.
Yeah.
What is your website? Let's share that.
So it's TeaberryAlpacaFarms.com.
Teaberry, Teaberry.
Yes.
I love Teaberries. Is there any particular reason why you chose that as a name?
I would like to say that I was being very, very clever, but I'm not. I live on Teaberry Lane. So I was like, oh, I live on Teaberry Lane. I and my daughter are the only ones on it. So I'm like, oh, we are Teaberry Farms now, and we are Teaberry Fiber Mill also. So that's kind of how it all played out.
How has the Catawba and the Roanoke Valley community supported you since you started? You're sort of in a spot outside Roanoke. How far are we from Roanoke right now?
So I am about 40 minutes from Roanoke. Well, you know what? 30 minutes from Roanoke, 40 minutes from Blacksburg,
Okay.
and about 30 minutes from Newcastle. Newcastle is my small town,
Okay.
and that town's been very supportive, very helpful, arms open wide, and been very, very accommodating. As far as Blacksburg goes, Virginia Tech, all the students, all the parent events, a lot of the faculty have also been very supportive in that
Does anybody
area.
ever want to come on out from Tech and check out your operation for any of those people that are in veterinary work or anything out there?
So I do. I'm lucky enough that Virginia Tech will come out and help me with my herd sometimes, and then that way I have the veterinarian people come out with the students, and they're able to learn a little bit about alpacas and the camelid. Alpaca's part of the camelid family group. So you got camels, you got llamas, you got alpacas,
Oh, okay.
and then you have vicuñas and guamacas, and they're all part of camelids.
I'd never even heard the term camelids. You've really educated me. Well, we have just a little bit here. I want to ask you one more question. Where would you like to see your alpaca farm in 5 years? You are a woman of vision for sure. What do you see? Is there anything that you want to add that is not currently on your property now?
So as far as that goes, quite frankly, I would like to have it just maybe more people show up, right?
Oh, okay. Right.
A little bit more people to be aware of it. I'm trying to get 4-H to come out. I would like a little bit more, be able to work with the community a little bit more in that end of the world.
Well, I'm hoping that, this type of exposure and, this will all go on our podcast, on Spotify and on iHeart. Hopefully we'll plant lots of seeds this way.
There you go.
Thank you so much, Pam.
Thank you for coming out.
For sharing your story and giving us a glimpse into the world of alpacas right here in the Roanoke Valley. If you'd like to learn more, book a tour, or shop for alpaca products, you can visit Teaberry Alpaca Farms in Catawba. What a wonderful reminder that sometimes the softest adventures can lead to the warmest stories.
Thank you so much.
God bless you. Thank you. You've been listening to Let's Talk About, courtesy of Crowning Touch Senior Moving Services of Roanoke, Virginia, the only moving company with a consignment shop, auction house, and real estate division. We are a one-stop shop for any senior making a move. Check out our website at crowningtouchusa.com. Or if you are planning a move, call Anna at 540-982-5800 to arrange a free estimate. And don't forget to check out our monthly browse and bid auctions at 6712 Williamson Road in Roanoke, where you can bid online on over 1,800 items each month. Meanwhile, let's get back together next Friday at noon for more of Let's Talk About on Fox 910 and 104.3.